this mic. Here I am, an autistic individual man, rocking with the critical plan. Express myself and learn how to stand in a lane with neurotypicals who understand and can't be.
What's up, you guys? My name again is MC Josiah. We are back for another episode 5, I believe, of MC J's Rizzism. And I got my producer behind the board, Sam Wolf, and my homie. And we're going to be doing a killer episode today, specifically about communication and social cues in people with ASD or autism.
That's important skills to have.
Oh, yeah, they're very important skills. But not only are they very important skills, they tend to be some of the areas where people with ASD like me struggle the most, especially in our younger years.
Oh, yeah. I think that's the one reason why I think I might be on the autism spectrum a little bit, is just my understanding of myself and confusion of interacting with others and missing the thing of what's going on, it seems like.
Yeah, definitely, and that's always been a big problem with me. It used to be way worse when I was a kid, though.
Oh, I bet, but you start learning, to read their patterns, I think.
Yeah, you learn to read their patterns, and as you get, like, for me specifically, I got a lot of training when I was, at least during a certain period when I was in school, I got a lot of training. Specifically, I was in a class for people with autism or ASD called AIM. And I was in that class for about maybe 3-4 years. And during that time I was in there, I got a lot of social training as well.
Well, yeah, I bet that was immensely a good tool.
Yeah.
I'm curious what those programs look like now.
Oh, yeah, I am too, because I haven't been in school since 2014.
Yeah, 2014, that's over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Yep, and then 10 years before that is when I was graduating, high school. So,
oh, wow.
It's like a decade. Be interesting to see what it's like now.
Yeah. Probably way more improved by now is what I'm guessing.
Oh, I sure would hope so.
Yeah. Mainly because when I was in school, it was like the AIM class and all the classes for kids with ASD were in their infancy. They were like baby programs at the time, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think we had programs like that for when I was in school for just people with autism. Like, unless you were like way, I don't know how to describe that. Had a lot of just obvious characteristics that made you just very hard to socially interact.
Yeah, it was bad through most of my school years. It was pretty bad. Like in elementary school, I was always by myself all the time, especially at recess, because I didn't have the social skills needed to make friends on the playground and stuff. I'd always get in issues with teachers because I'd either, I guess what they would call, talk back to them. And it wasn't even so much that I was talking back to the teachers. I was just like correcting them a lot of times because my autism, like being literal and to the point, which we'll get to in this, but yeah.
Oh, I can definitely relate with that. Like, that is... man, I almost feel like I was just a decade too late on some of that understanding and being spotted for certain things. But
yeah,
it was very much, it seemed like my generation was very much encouraging to people to mask.
Yeah.
And to, it's just like, you just have to learn how to do that. It's the way people are. It's the way society is. You just have to learn how you're going to present that. But what you're doing right now is socially unacceptable. You can't do it like that.
yeah.
Like, so yeah, it leads one to go internal, a lot. And it's hard to come out of your shell after that because you realize that your instincts you have this concept that your instincts are wrong.
Yeah, definitely. You know what I mean? Like, and not just the instincts, but it's also like the problem with social language in general is it's not so much completely subjective, but it's very subjective in nature. Like, because like what one person might consider disrespect, another person might consider respect, or what one person considers respect, another person considers disrespect. And for someone with ASD who struggles to pick up on those natural body cues and stuff, it's like really, like, it can be a challenge sometimes trying to figure out like what's the correct social response to like every situation.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Yep. I definitely agree with that. I used to always try to lead with humor. Like, I was the class clown when I was in elementary school and stuff.
Yeah.
But then when things turned hostile in middle school, that's when I like went inward
Yeah, same thing with me. Like, I remember a few episodes ago we talked about autistic burnout, and me going through burnout was really bad. But one of the big reasons why I went through burnout in the first place was years of masking. You know what I mean? Like, and it's not that you don't have, like, you shouldn't ever have to mask in society, because there's situations where we all are gonna have to mask, autistic or not.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
But it's like what the mistake that a lot of ASD people make with masking, specifically when it comes to like trying to emulate social cues of people who are non-autistic, or emulate social cues of people who are non-autistic, is that masking for too long without taking a break from it can wear down on the mind and body.
Oh, for sure.
Yes, for sure. Like it's not even funny. Like that's what happened to me in my early 20s. Like for years, I was trying to live up to the mismatched expectations of public school and social life as a teenager, and all that eventually collapsed on me when I reached like 21, 22 years old.
Yeah, I definitely have to make sure that after I do any kind of big social thing where I'm having to really put forth a certain kind of masking, and especially if I have to be an extrovert, like wear the extrovert mask where I need to be outgoing with it. I have to have a recovery period.
Yeah,
where
me
I just
too.
go reclude by myself and just try to recharge.
Yeah. And that's the same thing with me too, you know what I mean? Like these days, like what I said in one of the episodes is about picking your battle thing, like Sun Tzu's Art of War. One of those things in picking your battles is realizing which situations are like too socially difficult for you to mask or be in, and which situations are more easier to do it. And not only that, but how long you can withstand a certain situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this is all stuff I wasn't really taught that much when I was a kid. I had to kind of learn it all on my own. The main stuff they did teach me though in school is things like direct social cues, I guess, like how to like directly tell obvious emotions from people.
Man, I remember there were certain stages of life that I felt like it would be really nice, like when I was going into middle school and everyone started, forming like boyfriend, girlfriend type relationships.
Yeah, I remember that.
I always felt like there should be a school class or something that teaches, this is how you date, this is how you court, these are the social like cues that you should be looking out for. And I don't know, I just feel like different topics like that would have been helpful.
I think honestly topics like that, not just for ASD people, but for even regular
Just
people.
regular people too.
Yeah, they need it because like a lot, like
This is how you interact with a court reporter to get records from your courthouse. This is how you pay your taxes.
Stuff
all
like
sorts
that.
of-
A book I read a long time ago is a marriage book called His Needs, Her Needs, and that book breaks down in detail like relationships and stuff. And based off what I've learned from it, my conclusion is that most of the problems that exist with relationships in like modern day Western culture come from a few things. One, lack of understanding of gender differences, and two, also. Yeah. I'm getting confused.
It's okay.
Yeah, lack of gender understanding and lack of understanding on how to create romantic love. There, I got back on track.
Okay, so let's recap that.
Yeah. Yeah, so basically, like, I think schools and stuff should teach classes on how to create romantic love and maintain long-term relationships and stuff.
Or what healthy relationships are supposed to look like.
Yeah, that too,
Like,
you know what I
and
mean?
how. Oh, but then we get into a whole thing like that's almost like a social debatable thing that also incorporates
Yeah.
like your spirituality or religion's elements.
Yeah, that's true. And
But I
that's
feel like there is just some basic socializing techniques, at least in America, that is like, this is how we communicate as Americans and how we should communicate as Americans. Oh, somebody upset you, your neighbor's dog pooed on your yard and it caused it to stain. Rather than instantly hitting them with a civil lawsuit, this is how you go and talk to your neighbor about said issue.
yeah, and that's what
You leave your guns at home, for starters.
Yeah.
Don't go over angry.
Yeah, and
Put a smile on. Try to relax. Don't go over hot-headed. Keep it about the facts.
yes, keep it about the facts. And That's actually another thing that a lot of people, especially people with ASD, due to increased sensitivity, but even regular people deal with too, is like anger management. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people don't realize that a lot of situations that do go south could actually go a lot better with the right anger management, emotional control.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of people who are like doing all sorts of situations right now they don't want to be, all because of their anger and rage. You know what I mean?
Because they reacted in the moment
Yeah, they react
rather
in the
than
moment.
give it some time and let their head cool.
Yeah. And that's something that's definitely something with me as an autistic person I've had to learn to do the hard way many times over, is you got to keep your cool, you got to think through things, you know what I mean? And that's what the important social cues are in people with ASD or autism, trying to help them understand it and stuff, so that way they not only know how to communicate.
All right, check 1 2. Oh, okay, we're back. Sorry, I don't know at what point we lost the audio on that. That is completely on me. I
It's
was
fine.
trying to reroute the camera feed that I'm currently using so we can see me to put me on the screen with you, kind of like picture in picture.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't realize I unplugged. Oh, you can't just do that. That one's what's feeding the audio into the system as well. So,
Yeah.
man, I'm not sure where we were at before we got cut off.
I think we're talking about how social cues are important, not just for interacting with people, but recognizing interactions in people.
Oh, for sure. Because social cues, if you're missing the social, like if you're missing social cues, half of the conversation at least is through those like visual,
through those
facial,
cues,
social
yeah.
cues. Like, and if you are misinterpreting those, or don't understand that yeah, that's why I almost feel like why we a lot of times we have to seek clarification, and it annoys people sometimes.
Yeah, it does.
Because they deliver something and we're like, oh wait, are they angry at me because I didn't do this earlier? Like, why they? But no, they just delivered it because they're tired and weren't thinking about, and just they just said, I just need this, and now they're frustrated because you had to have them repeat it. But and it's just like, I said, sorry, I didn't mean to frustrate you. I just trying to figure out what's going on and what's wrong.
Yeah. Because that's the thing about people with autism and ASD, specifically my condition, is in general, we do have empathy. We have what's called emotional empathy. But what we lack generally that most regular people have is what's called cognitive empathy. Cognitive empathy is basically your ability to recognize empathy correctly in others, like what others are feeling or portraying in their body language, and to be able to accurately respond with your own accurate body language. And the best way,
interesting.
the best way to describe this is like, you always heard of the term IQ, which means intelligence. But there's two other terms too I'm gonna throw in there for like kind of analyzing where someone's overall mental capacity is. On top of IQ, there's also EQ, which is your emotional cognitive ability, and then your SQ, your logic and reasoning abilities. IQ, we already know what that is. That's just like how well you can memorize stuff and repeat it accurately. EQ is your ability to process emotional and social data to come to correct conclusions about it. And then SQ is your ability to take the knowledge you learn and mechanically, mathematically process it in logic and come to a new conclusion.
Well, that's interesting. So when they did traditional IQ tests, was that a measurement of a sum of all three of those spectrums, or is it a sum of the latter two?
I think
I don't remember when I did it in college. I don't think it was. It seemed to be more focused on your innate ability to problem solve or to take in. Like there were a lot of diagram stuff.
Yeah.
Like it was just kind of a logic in that kind of sense.
Well, yeah, a lot of modern IQ tests will probably incorporate both the logic and memorization side.
Because I'm horrible at memory. Like I do not have, unless it's like something that really fascinated me at one point and like stood out to me. Like facts are arbitrary to me. It's just a matter of time before they change.
Yeah. But yeah, basically, so when it comes to people with ASD, on average, people with ASD generally have an average or above average IQ, but they have really high SQs, which means that they have like the logical and mechanical mental compatibilities of that are like a really smart professor. But because the EQ is low, a lot of people with ASD have the social skills and reasoning and empathetic cognitive abilities of that of like a 12 to 16-year-old.
I don't know why, but I feel a little called out.
Well, it's okay, man. I can like right now. I know I'm socially being present in this podcast, but when I'm going on my day-to-day life, I like even the way I talk. Like if I didn't have an adult voice, you'd probably mistake me for like a 12-year-old, I guess, because the way I articulate my words and stuff when I'm not on a podcast like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I get you.
But yeah, that's the thing about ASD. And so because of that, I think when it comes to ASD, we like the training and the need to push the learning and social cues is greatly there. You know what I mean? Because people with ASD, not only are they more sensitive, but because they're more sensitive, if they tend to get into social issues because of missing social cues, the response to it's not always as good, or it's more traumatizing to the autistic person. Because like they're more sensitive. And another thing about social cues and communication in general is autistic people generally tend to have what's called rejection sensitivity.
Yeah.
And that was a big problem for me in my early days of dating. I did not do well with breakups. You know what I mean?
And that doesn't necessarily have to be a real rejection either, right? That can be just perceived rejection,
Yeah, it
which
can just
happens
be-
a lot off the misreading of social cues.
Yeah, and that happens too. It could be misrejection, or it could be a rejection to some other extent. And you know, and it's crazy. You know what I mean? It's crazy how it works. Like it took me a while to build up that tolerance and strength for rejection, and even now I'm not as strong with rejection as like a normal person would be. That's why these days I'm just more picky with like the people I try to interact with, but especially the girls I try to interact with now I'm more picky with because just the rejection problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it always stings a little worse when it seems to be coming from a pretty girl for some reason.
Yeah, definitely. Anyway, let me see what else. But yeah, so to go into more detail about this language thing, when it comes to ASD, their social cues and way of communication might be things like they'll use direct or less ambiguous language. Sometimes people might call them being blunt. They'll use formal, precise, technical language. They'll repeat words, sentences, phrases. And sometimes some of those people like me even invent new words. And not so much literally make up new words, but like take phrases and put them together to invent unique phrases.
I am all for inventing new words. I'm a strong advocate for that when done correctly.
Yeah, when
I think
done
that's
correctly, it works.
Completely acceptable.
Yeah. But yeah, and that's the thing. Like I've been dealing with like all these things all my life, like especially using formal language, precise language. Like even though in my normal day I articulate words like a 12-year-old, my vocab is very professor-like. Like I use a lot of big words all the time when I talk.
Yeah, you like some big words. You also like some topics that, aren't typical except for maybe professors.
Yeah.
Like how you like history,
History,
and war
science,
history.
especially I love military history.
Or when you start talking about computer hardware and clocking of processors.
Yeah, I understand that really well, like how processors clock up and work. And I've been studying computers since I was 9 years old.
Yeah, it shows.
Anyway, well, we're not going to end this episode, but we're going to kind of wrap it up with a few talking points. I was going to say some news going on with me, guys, is I've been working really hard on my album, Abstract.
Abstract.
Yes, it's going to be a 10-song original album with all completely new songs written from scratch. I've been working on it since last summer.
Oh, well, okay. Seems kind of a short time.
Yeah. but it's gonna be real tight. We're just in the post production right now, and then here at the Neon Parrot Live, of course, we're gonna be starting another show. It's not gonna be a live show like this podcast, but we're gonna be starting the production of another show called The History Machine pretty soon.
The History Machine.
Yes, and The History Machine's gonna
With
be
your host, MC Josiah.
host MC Josiah, yes. And basically, the History Machine's going to be like a show where we go over different historical events that happened throughout history. This first episode is going to be a military history episode, though. Specifically, I'm aiming to do the first episode about World War I Battle of the Frontiers.
Are we gonna follow the angle of doing reenactments, maybe drunk history style, or just kind of comedically?
Probably, we might do that, yeah. We're going to try, we'll see we'll brainstorm many different ideas of what we can do, and we're going to try to either live action or, if possible, animated scenes, but that might be a bit difficult.
Oh, it'd be cool if we got into animating scenes. That would be pretty sick.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
I mean, I think I have a copy of like Total War. You know, we could reenact some Napoleon stuff potentially.
Oh yeah.
With that, that'd be kind of fun to try to do.
Yeah, I've never actually thought about using Total War. Is that a game?
Yeah, it's the game that uses.
Yeah.
Actually, they've done some historical reenactments using the computer engine for it. That was probably when it first came out, maybe 20 years ago now.
20. That's actually really good though, because if it's 20 years old, it's going to be lightweight and easy to record on a computer.
Yeah, it probably should be. I mean, we have the ability to adjust frame rate and stuff, but it's not going to be like 4K quality.
Well, we don't need 4K for
No,
that.
but it's pretty cool if you just want to see a bunch of troops run at each other and kind of
go crazy.
Yeah, you can throw in elephant troops in there too. It just depends on the battle.
Definitely. Well,
but when you're talking about some of them where they just send a bunch of foot guys in to get people with guns, I mean, I think we can illustrate that potentially by having a bunch of unarmed guys or running at riflemen.
Yeah. Well, yeah, definitely. But we're going to get to work on that show pretty soon, The History Machine. And anyway, before we completely wrap this up, you want to say anything else, Sam?
Well, you're also going to be, we've got a live show that we're going to be working on too, right?
Yeah.
We just got to set a date for it. We're going to do a hip-hop show.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. We're playing in another hip-hop show at some point like we used to do many years ago. And we just got to set a date and start organizing everything. But, yeah, it's going to be a tight hip-hop show, me and other artists.
Yeah, so we're going to get organizing that and try to get the date rolled out for that maybe by the next episode. That'd be great if we had a date for that.
Yes.
Cool.
Well, anyway.
Well, you have anything else coming up music-wise? Any shows? Live shows?
Other than the open mic in a couple days, not really.
Yeah, the Songwriters Open Mic Sunday nights.
I'll definitely be there.
Heck yeah. Well, cool. Awesome. Well, I don't have anything else to talk about either.
Alrighty, well, hopefully you guys enjoyed episode 5 of MCJ's Rizzism, Communication and Social Cues. I'll see y'all in the next one. Like, subscribe, comment, and peace, everyone.